I'm sorry, Lana. They're just trying to boost our morale.
Colonial Affairs, please advise Director Tan of your status. Any logistics updates are due within the hour.
Pathfinder, do you have just a minute? Hi. The documentary's going great. Your comments really got people talking. By the way, Tan called us in for a talk about staying on message.
Is everything okay?
Oh, fine. And much less interesting than what you've been up to. Scientists are excited about your new outpost, though there are questions about how prodromos can survive where Sites 1 and 2 failed.
My team and I surveyed EOS thoroughly and even stopped the storms. The rest is up to the outpost, but the old threats are gone.
Hopefully they can handle any new ones. Facing those risks must be stressful. How do you relax between missions?
What about you? I can't imagine you putting your camera down for anything.
I'm not the one history cares about.
I need a minute to think about my answer, and I'd like to know.
Back home, I'd go sailing. I love the water. Nowadays, I play ocean sounds, close my eyes, and remember. Okay, your turn.
My crew and I take downtime together. We're a team.
This is history too, these little moments between. Shots of this remnant tech, some narration, that completes an episode. Thanks for stopping. But footage of that remnant vault is sealed. Can we get a model?
Apex personnel, please check your duty roster for important updates.
Okay, sending the override command. The stasis pod should start unlocking.
You're really doing this? I was at the protest in hydroponics. I thought we'd just get more excuses. But we already lost a year waiting for our families. I'm glad it's time.
Things will be lean for a while. The new mouths to feed.
But you're out there. We'll manage somehow. My mom was scared something would go wrong and she'd be awake in stasis all that time. She isn't... It doesn't work like that, but I just want her out, so I know.
Override complete. Stasis revival triggered on the Nexus. For Jasper K, Griffith G, Hilkvist A, Demerchi P, Kozlov S.
There! That's her!
Why are you still here? Go be the face your mom wakes up to.
I will. Thank you.
Given new resource allocation, personnel in stasis on the Hyperion may now be required to wait longer.
When it's time, you'll have a home to wake up to. I promise.
A reminder to all personnel, overtime hours remain in effect. roster for important updates. Any Authorities continue work to establish contact with our Milky Way descendants. As of now, beacons confirming arrival in Helios remain unanswered. This is HNS.
Ryder, could we talk a moment? Sam's been compiling our star charts. The other pilots on the Nexus will have plenty of new trails to follow.
You can drop the charts off the next time we're there.
Funny, a few months ago, that station was like a war zone. Flying was my only way to escape the chaos. Now it's become a haven, just as it was meant to be.
Every good space station needs a big lake, maybe some fountains.
Indeed. Even non-amphibians need a little water. Regardless, the worst threat to the whole initiative is still that monstrosity.
You mean the Scourge?
I still see it crippling the Nexus in my memories. I had to train other pilots in hazardous flight techniques just to look for food and water. It's a cage that eats good ships and good people. Helios won't be home so long as it's a threat.
It's a huge space anomaly. It's not going away in anyone's lifetime.
If we could somehow neutralize it, or if our ships had defenses against it. Still, that's what we do, isn't it? Find a way where there is none. Just see the Nexus for proof of that.
Why can't you just ask her yourself?
Because.
Because?
Just because.
Fine. Lexi, PB wants to look at Jaal's scans.
PB knows I can't divulge patient information. Ugh, useless. Yes?
I'll let you get back to it.
I'll be here if you need me.
I thought I hated the Kett before. Then we learned about exaltation. I can't even begin to imagine how Jaal feels about this.
I was curious about you and Sid, being on your own from such a young age.
Yeah, I really wouldn't recommend it.
Where was your mother in all this?
Back on Palaven, I suppose. She was an awful person. All she cared about was climbing the ranks. She and my dad fought all the time. I think at the end they hated each other. When things were really tough, I thought about going back. But she wouldn't have accepted us. Whatever my dad did destroyed any chance of that.
Where was home? Palaven?
No, we'd already left Palaven by then. Whatever our dad was involved in meant we weren't welcome there. I hadn't even gone to boot camp yet. Sid was barely a year old. We eventually settled in a mining colony in the Minos wasteland. 2 years later, our dad was gone.
How did he keep you and your sister afloat?
I was barely more than a kid myself, so lots of unskilled work, construction jobs. No one else would do the dangerous stuff, so I would, being up high, crawling under things. I could shoot a gun, so eventually I moved into smuggling. Even more dangerous, but lucrative. We were never rich, but we got to comfortable.
You probably have work to do. We can chat later.
You know where to find me.
I take it you moved your stuff over from the Nexus?
Yeah, my squatter's paradise is all the more cluttered. What's up?
Is there more about Kalinda you want to share?
Back home, she was upper crust. An ambassador. Respected, living the high life, but miserable. Not built for royalty, she said. With her position, the initiative sought her out as a first contact specialist. First wave out of stasis. Kalinda was the one who got me thawed out early. I'm still grateful for that. But things went south soon. She hurt me. Pretty badly.
What happened?
Oh, let's not drum up that sob story. It's all water under the bridge.
I have to admit, when you invited me to your apartment, I thought you might be luring me there for something else.
You thought, or you hoped?
I might have been hoping.
That hope had crossed my mind as well. If Kalinda hadn't intruded, who knows what might have happened.
Thanks for chatting. We'll talk again later.
You know it.
Joel? Not talking to me? I get it. I can't imagine how you're feeling. I'll just go.
Don't. You saved the Moshai. I won't forget that.
I may seem tough, but I have a good shoulder.
That's kind. You're kind. I really miss my family at times like these. Are you close to your family?
I am. My mom and dad are dead. My brother's in a medically induced coma. I'm kind of an orphan at the moment.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, this random collection of Tempest oddballs can feel like family sometimes.
Yeah. I never really felt I had a purpose. But here, I do.
What about the Resistance?
My place in the Resistance is not what I'd like.
But that kid on Aya looked up to you.
Sure. But you are going to do something important, Ryder. I feel it. This is where I should be.
I like having you around. Specifically you.
Because of my skill and knowledge?
Not really.
Because you enjoy spending time with me as much as I do with you.
You do?
Yes. You're fascinating. And special. And strange.
Aw, thanks.
And I mean it.
feeling, Moshe Sefer?
Weak, but I'll bounce back. I always have. I've broken each limb twice. You have to do more than wipe my immune system to take me down.
Well, you and my mom would love each other.
I'm not too tired for questions. Please, ask them.
So, exaltation is how the Ket reproduce. How did you learn that?
They're proud of it. They welcomed us and spoke of it openly. We were becoming them. To the Ket, all other life is inferior. Even, I suspect, humans.
They're going to a lot of trouble just to make baby Ket.
I guess it's also a way for them to control their evolution. They incorporate only traits they value, and unique adaptations they don't possess.
So what are the chances the Ket have exalted other intelligent species? Somewhere?
I'd say those chances are excellent.
The Cardinal said she had the Archon's DNA. So was the Cardinal exalted too?
From what they described, I think they can be exalted multiple times. They strive always to be greater. And the Archon's DNA somehow plays a role in all of it.
It looked like some of your people wanted this Ket gift. They walked right into those pods.
As did I. Voluntarily. Happily. But that is part of the process. Part of the preparation, they called it purification, stripped our systems of all defenses. It was very painful. But after the pain came a beautiful peace, like a trance, like a transcendence itself. I willingly walked into that pod, and I cannot fault anyone else who did the same.
Sam downloaded what he could from the facility. We'll be studying exaltation for quite a while. What was happening in that facility? It felt like a religion or a cult.
Perhaps, but not to them. They honestly believe they are giving us a gift.
The Cardinal seemed desperate to keep that place standing.
The entire facility seemed dedicated to one thing: exaltation. That's why I asked you to destroy it, despite the lives it would cost. It's good you listened to me.
How long were you in that facility?
Days? After the Archon decided I would be exalted, I was sent to the facility alone. I was housed with prisoners who described how they were kidnapped, taken to holding camps, analyzed and separated.
Analyzed?
Until now, we never understood why some of us were sent to slave camps and others just vanished. The Archon chose to exalt me, to use me for my knowledge. Perhaps others were chosen for their genetics.
The Chosen.
I'm only theorizing. I am a scientist, after all.
I'll let you rest.
Wait. One more thing. I spoke to a guard, a former resistance fighter who remembered me. It described everything about its past, our past, with no trace of emotion. It seems that victims retain memories of who they were, but after being exalted, they live only to serve the Ket. Does your species dream?
Sometimes.
A Ket remembers being Angara. Like a dream it's eager to forget, which is beyond comprehension. Ishare, Pathfinder. I'm sure we'll talk again.
I got a copy of the Nexus's movie library.
Thanks. I'll look through it. It's probably all agricultural learning vids, but there might be something good. I'll keep you posted.
the Angara were fighting their own this whole time. Fuck.
Not well.
Hey.
Now that we've been digging, it's clear you were right about Spender.
Guy like that'll do anything to get ahead. Just wonder how far he went.
We can talk more later.
Sure.
They aren't just conquerors or slavers. The Ket turn everything you are to their advantage. Worst kind of enemy. The one that makes you fight your own people.
That's what Jal faces every day, now that we know the truth.
Friends, neighbors, all changed. And they're loyal to what changed them.
You're pretty worked up about this.
Kandros wants strategies for handling the Ket. I talked with Drac, putting ideas together. Expand our guerrilla tactics, get Angaran military advisors, research exaltation. Just, I don't know. Wish your dad could give me his take.
Why? This all looks fine to me.
Nasira, your father, they always had a plan I could follow. Without one, it's too easy for people to get hurt. Like now. The Initiative's plans are shot, and people die because of it.
We're flying blind. It'll take years to put all the pieces back together.
Our biggest headache is the Ket. Work goes on, I guess. Sarissa will have a strategy. Just need to find her and the other Asari. It'll be good to have certainty again.
At least
The discovery of Aya was just what we needed, Ryder. The Angaran scientists have been so generous in sharing their wisdom. It's been amazing.
Angaran expertise will be a tremendous help to the Initiative.
We were certainly hurting for it. I'm thankful the Angara were willing to risk working with us.
I'm afraid not all of them are quite so friendly.
Some give trust easily. From others, you have to earn it. I'm confident we'll get there.
What do you know about the Scourge?
We established that it's artificial. Someone put it there. Or they did something that caused its creation. We don't know why. That's still a mystery.
I take it you work closely with the Nexus Science team?
I try to keep in contact with them. We discuss anything and everything we discover out here. After all, many brains are better than one, and Dr. Aridana is worth 2 or 3 at least. I work best when I have other people to bounce ideas off of.
I'm still fuzzy about how we managed to see Andromeda all the way from home.
It confused me too. I mean, the light lag would have made any data 2 million years out of date. So I asked Dr. Aridana, and she told me, well, it wasn't our tech that did it. It was the Geths.
You're kidding. Those killer robots we had in the Milky Way?
Those exact ones. The Initiative obtained data from an array in deep space, a Geth construct. According to Aridana, the Geth rebuilt a mass relay and turned the approach corridor into an FTL sensor.
FTL sensor. So a faster-than-light telescope? They could survey Andromeda as it was?
Not exactly, but it cut down the lag by enough. We don't know why the Geth were interested in observing beyond the galaxy, though. Maybe we'll never know.
Did my dad know about this? Why didn't he tell me?
It's possible he didn't know. The Geth are isolationist and hostile. Using the info, even obtaining it in the first place, probably crossed a lot of boundaries.
I should get back to things.
Sounds good.